group called Truth in Textbooks. And truthinTextbooks.com, our mission was to focus on the facts and returning facts back to the classroom where so much of the information that our students were receiving was incorrect. And we did that here in Texas because they were beginning to review social studies textbooks. Backstop a little bit to, in 1975, the Saudi Arabian government, using the oil money, went out to the Stanford Research Institute and says, we have a problem. Israel's viewed very positively, the Middle East and Islam is viewed very negatively. We need to change that and switch that around. So they paid $6.2 million to the Stanford Research Institute to give them a business plan, and their business plan has been implemented perfectly, and it involved three things. First of all, bring as many of your students from the Middle East, beginning in as soon as you can in the late 70s, 80s, bring them to our universities and begin to get graduate degrees, doctoral degrees, and do them in as many of the soft sciences as you can. International relations, business relations, religious studies. And for those of us who remember that period of time, we started to see Middle East studies students begin to flood the universities and have them write dissertations on the Crusades, about the plight of the Palestinians, begin to write research about how Israel controls the media and controls Wall Street, write about how wonderful Islam and Muslims are, and begin to criticize Western civilization and begin to chip away at dividing the Judeo-Christian nation that we are by taking away little things like the hyphen. You don't see the word Judeo-Christian written in our textbooks anymore, and there's a reason why that's the case. Divide Jews and Christians into different groups. The second thing was to begin to establish Middle East studies departments. In 1975, there were no Middle East studies department, but Stanford and many other universities, and now there are over 70 of those, began to receive millions of dollars from all the oil coming over here and establish sites and universities saying, now let's have Middle East studies department, and we'll bring who we want to come over and teach you about our version of Islam. And they began to do that, and many of these liberal universities were not going to turn away that money. And as soon as they start, and you had the Muslim Student Associations who had started here in 1963, so they already had a foothold. So those two things put something in place, and as they began to write those dissertations and those, the master's thesis, what are textbooks made of? They're made of research and new research. And where's the most liberal place in the country? California. So they established 3 think tanks out there and to help funnel this technical information, this new history, into the social studies textbooks and to the publishers. And their job was to put it into the textbooks. And where's the best place to do that? In California. California is the largest purchaser of textbooks in the country. And by doing that, many other states, there are 28 states that have district by district, they're not being able to choose and get the publishers to create textbooks for them. They're having to pull something off the shelf. And many of them pulled the California textbooks off the shelf. And now that's spread throughout the country.